over on that Rensselaer squad. He's like, you can't get too tied up thinking about how good that one player is. You got to play against the team.
Let's see if they're going to do that and overcome some nerves. Nebraska taking on UW-Madison. Best of 5, winner go home. Gentlemen, let's rock.
And Achieves, you know, so far for our #1 seeds coming out of the qualifiers, or at least the seed that has placed the highest, they've really performed well for the most part. That one bounces off the corner of the post and in, and UW-Madison, they on the board first.
And Parkour Penguin, he definitely thought something else was happening. That's just a quality first touch by Fish Rule. So he saw the man go up the wall, says, no, sir, we're going somewhere else, and just right into the net.
He said Fish Rule, and scoring in the first 20 seconds isn't too bad either. Nice start there for UW-Madison.
That was such a weird challenge. I've rarely seen a challenge like that where he flipped into it and he kind of boxed the ball in so that it ended up just like slipping out under him. It was interesting touch to say the least. UW-Madison picking up the first goal, maybe a second, but Fish Rule Soy's ball knocked out to the side. And forces Snarky to try to make a touch onto it, but Fish Rule Soy is there as well. Around to the corner again, he's out of boost and allow Sniper to at least get the first touch out.
But they already are trying to open up those physical holes. You saw that touch around the corner and immediately went for the demo. Wisconsin-Madison, this is the first time the ball's going to even touch the orange half of the field. It really has been quality kickoff pressure generated, and right now Nebraska definitely going to have to make some adjustments. Love the spotlight all you want, but right now you're under plenty of pressure and you're going to have to get something out here. As this popped into the middle, touch for Fish Rule Soy, make it 2 for him. Snarky puts it on a platter.
Yeah, Snarky does so much work here. Not only does he set this ball up, but he also gets the bump on the Parkour Penguin. He just chips him just a tad, takes his car off angle, opens up the net for Fish Rule Soy.
Never seen a car do an elbow drop before. Fish Rule Soy.
That was it.
A first for me.
And so for Nebraska, in the first minute, you've given up those first 2 goals. You've had to survive a lot of early pressure, and now this is your time to reset and really start to try to move down the pitch. As you've said, Achieves, the ball has been on the orange side of the pitch once.
They lost the kickoff again for Nebraska, and here's the second opportunity to try and hang on to it. Roselladon, a great challenge. Parkour Penguin misses the touch. The stint will be short. Actually, Snarky somehow able to win that challenge despite being beat to the ball, so indeed the Badgers will work their way back the other way. Double commit though, free ball for Roselladon. He needs it on target. It was always going to be a tough angle, and especially with no boost. He's just trying to force things to keep pressure on them and let the Cornhuskers get themselves set.
And they do get themselves set. Nebraska were able to get some boost, and if Parkour Penguin can win that challenge, we're still talking about a Nebraska offensive drive. Instead, Sniper's forced back over to Roselladon, looking for the pass out. A good defensive play there to boom the ball downfield for Nebraska. Roselladon looking for his man. He's got him, but he's blocked by Snarky. The shot by Sniper hit away.
Communication definitely not in order for the Cornhuskers there. Parkour Penguin thinking Roselladon was going to grab the boost and leave, and that has allowed the Badgers a free break over onto the other side. However, huge gap in the midfield line as Snarky had to play back to make sure he got a good challenge angle as he had no boost. But Wisconsin-Madison have figured it out, and they're back onto the blue half and trying to get the dunk is Snarky. It's not going to happen, and Cornhuskers 2 minutes approaching. You'd like to see more find its way past this midfield line, but yo, respect right now to Wisconsin-Madison. You came in 3rd through the lower bracket, and right now you're giving the 1 seed a run for their money just in game number 1, and we saw it earlier, Jorby. You set the tone, Missouri S&T off the bat versus Michigan.
Yeah, they may never relinquish that control, that tone, and they're still putting shots on net. Off that touch on the backboard, it went uncontested, and even worming his way through traffic, and that shot goes in for Fish Rule Soy. He's just sitting in the box waiting for it to come to him. UW-Madison, 3 goals.
Well, what I think actually happens, Parkour Penguin might have been expecting Fish Rule Soy to try and demo him. So he drove towards the net, but it's just a misread on what he expected out of the offense, and it allows that ball to travel into the midfield, and he just whipped around and put it in.
If this is Fish Rule Soy playing with some nerves, I can't wait to see what he's like once he feels composed. This guy is all over the place on offense.
And again, you feel like the key is, Achieves, as you touched on multiple times, the kickoff, which has just been the tone setter for UW-Madison. They've won it consistently, and it's given them net positive pressure the whole way through.
I said it earlier with Grilly, very few things can beat a quality start on the kickoff, and that really is what you run into at the high level of Rocket League. Fish Rule Soy just tips one off the post, but if you're able to generate that early pressure, you can really gain so much command of the pitch just allows you to control those midfield boosts off the bat. Fish Rule Soy will turn in number 4, and it'll be an easy cruise to the end of game number 1 for the Badgers here.
Yeah, everyone just charging at the blue line. UW-Madison, it really just needed to get a demo to open it up for Fish Rule Soy, and they do find one eventually, and it's been clinical here for UW-Madison. Nebraska,
There we go.
They get a kickoff win finally. Can they score a goal heading into game number 2? Because right now that's what you're talking about with a minute left.
And unfortunately, they did win the first kickoff, but the clear that came from Wisconsin-Madison straight into space. And they've just transitioned right back onto offense. So short-lived victory for Nebraska, and definitely, for me, that's absolutely the name of the game going into game number 2 is you got to figure out how to, if you win the kickoff, you got to be able to turn it into more than just immediately giving the ball right back, because this game number 1, you're hesitant to believe Nebraska's the team to come out as the 1 seed, and how is it not these guys?
Yeah, I mean, they've been scrambling on defense. They haven't been able to control boost for the majority of the game. And really every single touch is kind of just a panic touch to keep it away from UW-Madison. Nobody's able to follow up on any of these touches on the defensive end. They finally get it clear here as time expires, and maybe they can just reset heading into game 2, try to work on this kickoff, because right now, UW-Madison, that early lead benefit a lot to that early pressure.
So you want to know what my favorite part of game number 1 was?
What's that?
It was before the game even started. Jorby says, well, you're really going to know how you feel on stream after you get scored on. And you followed up with, yeah, we're feeling really good, and we're down a game. That is exactly what just happened. So I absolutely love that so much.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because, like, as the 4th goal was scored, I was like, did we kind of curse them?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Don't look at me.
The
That's all you do.
The plucky ambition is hard to keep going when you go down 0-4 in game number 1 in an instance where you feel like you almost never are able to develop an offense.
Yeah, I mean, game 1s are usually like this, so I'm always willing to give like a game 1 buffer to a team that maybe gets smacked in the first game. Game 2 is where you really start to figure out how a team plays in a series. Sure. So give Nebraska maybe a mulligan on this
benefit
one.
of the doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's see how the kickoff game shakes off.
Shake this one off. Game number 2, Nebraska. Let's turn it around. UW-Madison have to love how they're playing so far.
And already the adjustments. Roseladon, he didn't even try and just punch that ball upfield. He had no boost. He was willing to take it on a dribble and just force a challenge for possession. And already, this is a neutral game battle off the start. Both teams going to be battling on this midfield line to gain the first real opportunity to stick it to a defense, and it might be the Cornhuskers here as it's blasted off the back wall. There is Sniper, and it is kept aside. Fish Rule Soy just able to get there.
I don't think Fish Rule Soy had more than 12 boosts in the tank when he was sitting back and was very patient in net waiting for his opportunity, and he did get the crucial clear out. Roseladon pushing forward, looking forward to Sniper. He got away from the ball a little bit. Fish Rule Soy looking for a dunk, and Parkour Penguin almost gave him one, and it is knocked out to the side. Nebraska forced to deal with some early pressure again, but much better on the defensive end. Sniper ran out of boost, but does make the challenge as he flips into it.
Nice demo.
And a demo on the backside onto Parkour Penguin. Snarky there around the corner, looking for a shot as Fish Rule Soy. He's blocked by Roseladon, and it's cleared away.
Nebraska is playing like a team that's finding themselves in this series.
Oh,
They're
dear.
starting to hold up, and I hope I didn't just curse them. UW-Madison still beasts on offense.
They definitely tied themselves up, bumping each other, but however, space given by Wisconsin-Madison, and they will break back down to the other way. Roseladon, open net, and he can't connect, just glides over the ball. Follow up by Parkour Penguin off the mark, and Sniper 98. Just a skosh too far forward, and it will be a full reset here for Nebraska, but it gives valuable time
Nice
for
pass.
Wisconsin-Madison. 1-2 in the midfield line, and the shot from too far away. Snarky has all the time to get in front.
Even if it's not completely intentional for Nebraska, all that passing in the midfield when UW-Madison is giving you so much space, it creates the illusion of misdirection, in Nebraska with Roseladon pick up the goal here and achieves.
So 2 guys in the corner for Wisconsin-Madison. What happened to the third guy who was cherry picking up forward? He just had so much faith in somebody at least challenging the ball to buy him some time. Everybody got beat by 1 touch out of the midfield. And Wisconsin-Madison are justly punished for that hubris.
You can tell Roseladon starting to warm up. Even before that goal, he was getting some solid shots on the net, and it just felt like it was a matter of time. Chatsy.
It really looked like he almost had it for a second. But off the corner, Fish Rule Soy trying to generate some pressure here for that shot for Shazzy. He doesn't get that first one, but he picks that one up top.
Beautiful placement as well, and Roseladon definitely wants a chance to clear that ball back. I touched on it earlier. Opportunities uncontested, you can't make a bad touch. And he kicked it straight off the ceiling right back in front of his own box, and he was justly put away for it.
What a message to send. Two defenders sitting there in the net, and you're just like, problem? I'm going to go ahead and score anyway. Nice accuracy.
A good challenge just against the back wall. W. Madison able to clear it out back to the other side. And Nebraska, they're just going to punt that away. They had some space, but not a ton. Still, Sniper looking for that ball. He does tip it back out for Rousseladon, and that one's just above the backboard. The shot through for Rousseladon, and Nebraska picked the lead up.
Vintage case of advantage of position. Rousseladon figures out exactly where that ball is going. Shazzy has to play it coming straight from the midfield line, looking up. He's got to read the bounce on the rotate. It's going to be a tough save one way or the other, and it's just a much easier play to make from the Nebraska side of things.
UW-Madison knew that Rousseladon's a top 100 player. He's going to be a factor sooner or later. Can't suppress him forever. He's going to get on the board.
Ooh. Pressure, Oh,
and Parkour Penguin almost had the goal, but he hit it off the crossbar. Snarky trying to carry this out. Sniper does what he can. Can't get the boost in the corner. Doesn't matter. The shot's still there for Rousseladon. And now here's a chance for UW-Madison. Snarky, he gets a light touch onto it, and then a big miss, but Chazi's there to pick up the pieces, still working towards the box, even when they missed that initial touch. This is dangerous here, but Fish Rule Soy is there for the pickup for UW-Madison. An interesting sequence of events leads us to nothing happening, and it's cleared out the other way.
Great patience from Sniper there on the midfield line, just waiting to see what the offense did with it as they tried to push upfield. Misclear from Fish Rule.
Wow.
Chazzy able to get just in front of it. Bumped, though, as Fish Rule Soy, and it will cost a few precious seconds for the Badgers to get themselves back in order. And Snarky, a lovely delay. Help from Rousseladon into the corner. Snarky's already on top of it. It is now Sniper's responsibility to find the ball. He's got Rousseladon on the sidewall. It's going to have to be helped into the net off of Parkour Penguin, and Snarky's driving up the back wall. He's scared of a launched ball right towards the top of the net. He must have had no boost. That's the only reason you'll drive like that.
Yeah, and you can also understand why he's just going for that, because a lot of the shots from Nebraska have been high off the crossbar, at least close to it. So just expecting that to continue, you can understand the panic right there. But Nebraska, I mean, the transition game has been really strong. They haven't been able to score every single time off of it, but they've been consistently finding a blue player in the midfield, and it's allowed them to move down the pitch effectively.
Nebraska might have been a little late to the party in terms of offense, but they have kicked this door wide open. We got ourselves a series.
Up high, Parkour Penguin. The touch is high out. Chazzy only gives it away to Parkour Penguin, and what a save from Fish Rule Soy. It's not going to matter. Parkour Penguin picks up a fourth for Nebraska.
This really is just keeping the pressure going. Chazzy, it's a good touch into space, but well read. And this ball, Fish Rule Soy definitely trying to get the clear out to the midfield line, maybe hoping for a pinch off his crossbar, but just dinged right back in front. Parkour just, he's cruising along, seeing if somebody messes up, and lo and behold, in the right place at the right time.
Fish Rule Soy off the kickoff. And speaking of off the kickoff, it was so much of what allowed UW-Madison to be so successful in game number one. It has not been effective in game number two. They haven't been able to control the pitch, and Nebraska have really held their way in game two.
And nothing beats a good start. And Wisconsin-Madison unable to come up with that solid start. Have really had to earn possession in the midfield, and it's really just come down to a couple of good touches one way or the other. And Wisconsin-Madison definitely lacking the shot numbers that they had of game number one for certain. That's just because there's been some great touches, especially Rousseladon getting through a couple of people in the midfield line. And they knew. Fish Rule Soy knew. He's like, yo, he's good. We're going to have to find an answer. And now it becomes the, all right, they've definitely figured out how to not just immediately lose kickoff. So now you're going to have to adjust how you're approaching the challenges post-kickoff and trying to gain possession in the midfield.
We got the answer to the question we're looking for. You know, you go in with all this confidence. You're in the spotlight. What happens if you lose the first game? Apparently, you come back strong
and you win
and run up the scoreboard yourself. Explosive offense on both sides. To me, it feels like it's the Rousseladon and Fish Rule Soy show so far in terms of offense. And Fish Rule Soy just never had a chance to show up in this game.
Yeah, Fish Rule Soy has actually been involved in every single goal that Wisconsin-Madison has scored so far. So definitely the guy the offense is flowing through, it would seem. But Rousseladon is obviously also that player for Nebraska. But overall, it feels like the support is more in order for Parkour Penguin and Sniper always being around as needed to get things going back in their favor.
All tied up, game number 3. Nebraska answers back strong. Can they keep this momentum going? Let's find out.
And I believe this gives us our first set that will go to at least a game number 4 today. All 5 matches.
We've had one.
Oh, what?
Ohio State.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Still.
few and far between for sure for day 1. And Wisconsin-Madison, this is the important game. Remember in one of the interviews last week, I believe it was Furion saying game 3 is the most important one. You win a lot of pressure. It's always the swing game if it's tied 1-1, or it's the game that wins you the series. So a lot riding on this game number 3, and it's on Wisconsin-Madison to really pick things up and figure out how to gain possession. And Parkour Penguin gets thrown a curveball.
That might be the first time I've ever seen that.
His teammate just spawns right under it. And it will definitely delay Nebraska's attempt to break out on the offense. And I want to see Wisconsin-Madison just get possession and hold on to it for the next 45 seconds just because of that.
Well, they do move down the pitch right now. Parkour Penguin can't find the touch. Sniper, he's able to move down the field now. Getting a touch out. That's a good touch by Chazzy. And like you said, somebody helped. But coming back, the other was Snarky. He pulled off the play a while ago. And that challenge, Ruseladon there for the pass to Sniper, and he wanted the help from Parkour Penguin, who also retreated on the play.
So free balls given both ways for both teams, but already 90 seconds gone. You don't even feel like that much time has passed in game 3. It's really just been chuck the ball upfield and see who's going to make a play.
That's Corelli's favorite type of game.
That is vintage Corelli Rocket League, is hit the ball really hard and go chase after
See what happens. Hopefully the other team misses. But right now, it has not happened for either team. UW-Madison have done a good job here stabilizing in early in game 3. It got away early from them for when Nebraska just started firing right back at them in game number 2, but now it's a much more even-keeled matchup. And Chazzy able to play it out to the side. Parkour Penguin tried to play it slow against him. It wasn't good enough. Sniper able to pick up that save now, but still dangerous. But Ruseladon, he's there off the line, forcing Snarky back to play it out to the corner.
And he was actually almost caught just a bit too far forward. And thankfully, he was able to tip that ball, and it will be the first opportunity for the Badgers back the other way. It's off the back wall, and, you know, we've said it a couple times in game 3, help.
Yeah.
And it has been absent until now, just kicked into the middle of the field, and Fish Rule Soy diving out of the corner, able to make a tough stop on the goal line, and Nebraska almost go 1-2 from their own net.
Yeah, it's seemingly out of nowhere from Fish Rule Soy. It's still Nebraska. They maintain possession even after that clear. UW-Madison haven't done a good job of retaining possession of this ball, and now they kick it downfield here. The demo to open it up off the crossbar. Chazzy can't finish it. Ruseladon picks up the save. The best chance for UW-Madison squandered by the 4th man.
Unfortunate hit for the crossbar. Another diving stop out of the corner for Wisconsin-Madison as Parkour Penguin just lifts one to buy time for everybody to get all the resources on their own half before Nebraska comes right back at them.
And Ruseladon off the ceiling, chasing this one down, has it off the ramp. Parkour Penguin can't win against Snarky. That is a great challenge win, but Sniper had it in midfield and still waiting for the second touch from Chazzy, plays it away.
So a free ball here for Parkour Penguin on his own half. He's got Ruseladon. It's a poor pass, though, and it just allows space. Wisconsin-Madison to gap close, but they lost the challenge. Ruseladon wants 2, and just a beautiful touch, but Sniper's lurking. They got it around the first guy, but the contingency for number 2 not there, and the Cornhuskers score first.
Advantage of placement achieves. You say it all the time. He was right there waiting for it. Sniper off the missed touch from UW-Madison allows Nebraska to take the lead yet again. And so for UW-Madison, it was definitely a much better sequence in the first 3 minutes here in game number 3. But again, that's when the nitty-gritty starts biting you, right? That's when the boost canisters start mattering more. That's when possession starts mattering more, and they were never really able to grab it against Nebraska, who just continually were able to boom the ball away from anyone on the orange side.
And that is actually a great win for Chazzy. But they need to figure out this continuation touch. And again, quality challenge from Chazzy just to force the issue in this corner and keep possession. But the fact that Nebraska just hasn't clean lost those challenges has bought plenty of time as Ruseladon almost able to get the job done himself. But big curveball for everybody on Wisconsin-Madison. The Badgers just trying to force the ball out of their own half, and that double commit puts a lot of pressure on Chazzy here as he tries to force the issue with 30 seconds, and he gets whipped.
That's it.
Off the line. He tried to stretch something because they knew they needed to score, and he was dead wrong.
Yeah, there was nowhere close to it from Sniper, and Sniper has really picked up here in game number 3 for Nebraska. It was the Parkour Penguin Parkour Penguin doing a lot in game number 2, but Sniper really picked up the pace here in the next game. Ruseladon also, he's just been consistent, in my opinion, as far as this series has gone. It's going to give Nebraska a 2-game lead. Game 3, that ever the crux of the series, will swing into Nebraska Lincoln's favor. Parkour Penguin is there to clear it out, and with time expiring, Sniper is there to kill the last clear off the crossbar and down. They got series advantage.
Nebraska Lincoln, we were wondering why they're the #1 seed, and I think it's just because they have a relentless onslaught. Once the offense showed up in game number 2, they never managed to take their foot off the pedal. Wisconsin, they're definitely getting challenged in a way that they did not before at the beginning of the series, and it just seems to be they're crumbling under that pressure. They haven't really found a strong response yet.
Yeah, games number 2 and 3 gone the favor of Nebraska Lincoln in scoreline 6-1. So definitely figured out, yes, it literally was just the kickoffs in game number 1, and it really is that presence out of the midfield. It's well regulated.
Right.
Nobody's overstepping their bounds. Every now and again, Wisconsin-Madison have one double commit, and it just allows that extra time because that third guy, who's a little bit too far away, has to take that extra bit of time to close that gap, which has already allowed Nebraska, who are well regulated in the midfield, to have that second man come up and just push that ball back the other way. So that's the next thing here in game 4 of Wisconsin. You got to step it up here and make sure they know exactly what the game plan is moving up the field.
Nebraska's 1 game away from moving forward in the bracket. If you're a UW-Madison fan, you want to definitely cheer for them now. Almost the goal right at the beginning of the game.
Almost, and a demo as well opens things up where Celadon just misses the touch. Parkour Penguin is there, but he has to force it up because the defenders went low. Here's Sniper, but it's picked off by Snarky. He bails out UW-Madison.
And Celadon, plenty of trust. Parkour Penguin chip around 1, and a great challenge, and he wanted the demo on Fish Rule Soy, because if he demos that one, free ball, Cornhuskers the other way, and it was going to be dangerous. And a nice little chip from Ruseladon, but Snarky, lovely adjustment coming off that side wall to just get Wisconsin-Madison back on the map, but it might be too much. Snarky just in time.
That's not the first or second time that's happened to UW-Madison, and it's been Snarky on the worst end of it, having to force himself way back, being too far up as the third man. This was dangerous, but Ruseladon putting the undercarriage up to pick up the save.
And that's why he's a top 100 player right there. He knew he set up the Badgers for a free goal, and heroic recovery effort to keep that one out yourself.
Parkour Penguin tried to pick that up. Ruseladon has been there, and we've been singing his praises really all weekend, but Achieves, you're shaking your head at that one.
Well, Fish Rule Soy, it's that he was slightly out of position, couldn't get a clean first touch on the ball, and that's what I was talking about. That little mistake just allowed Nebraska to get their feet back under him and come right at him out of the midfield, uncontested, and just have a free reign of the ball one more time.
Sniper losing the challenge on here.
Oh,
Jazzy almost puts the shot on himself. It was a dangerous situation here for Nebraska. Still, Ruseladon has to clear it out. He can't. Sniper's in the perfect spot for that hit, but it's still not over. Jazzy up off the backboard, coming in for the shot for Fish Rule Soy, and picked up off the post. It's free! Snarky for UW-Madison. Achieves. His head's on the floor.
It just got so crazy. Ruseladon is
Like, short of cloning himself, there was not much else he was going to be able to do to keep that ball out of the net. Insane defensive play right there.
That was pinnacle don't panic if you're Nebraska. And that one tip off the post just threw everybody off the mark. And Wisconsin-Madison, those are ones you gotta score.
Nebraska, moving by is Sniper, looking for maybe a shot, but both members of Nebraska respecting the UW-Madison defense. Here's a pass over to Parkour, and now to Ruseladon, and the play for Nebraska comes through. Capitalized tie game.
This great recognition from Ruseladon. He doesn't have any boost at that point after he jumps off the wall. Just has like whatever he's got in the tank, which is maybe 20 tops. Just recognizes, yeah, I can go get that. Just jumps at it immediately, doesn't think twice, tries to put it on target. And that instant decision-making beats the defense.
Everybody from Nebraska is showing up in perhaps this final game in the best of 5, but you got to tip your hat to Ruseladon's ability to just be a star playmaker for this team.
Oh, and Sniper too far up on it, forcing Ruseladon to have to try to make a save here. He makes a good touch against the shot from Chazzy. shot out way wide here. Sniper picks this up, trying to buy some time, and he flips over another, working his way past Snarky as well, but he's out of boost, and Chazzy gonna pick this back up for UW-Madison. Hit back over to Fish Rule Soy. Off the ceiling in midfield. Sniper trying to clear this out. Rousseladon has to make a touch. Chazzy wins the lion's share of it. Parkour Penguin forced up to make a save. Nebraska being put on their back wheels here. Less than 2 minutes to go for UW-Madison to try to get the lead.
And that touch from Sniper was off the mark. It was a great challenge from Chazzy in the midfield, taking advantage of a misplaced pass from Nebraska, but now it just dings off the corner of their own car as they run into each other. And you really do hate to see it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But for Sniper and for Nebraska, it is extremely fortunate.
You take those.
48 seconds left, as we say up here. We take those.
I think he's smiling right now. 145, UW-Madison. If they want to keep their tournament hopes alive, they got to show up. They got to get a ball into the back of the net. Sniper almost goes for another one.
Almost. The Parkour Penguin's going to get a free one in the corner off the whiff, and it's bounced straight down. This is only for Rousseladon. That shot's in off the crossbar. Nebraska take a crucial 2-goal lead.
And I said it once, I said it before, the well-regulated offense. Fish Rule Soy, Chazzy, double commit. Third man can't close the gap fast enough. Number 2, Rousseladon just waiting in the midfield line. He's there first.
This is
3-1.
This is the problem when you have a really good player in the form of Rousseladon, but the other players are just as strong. Once you start minding them, you try to play up on them, Rousseladon's still on the field.
And he's been a tough member, absolutely. After that game 1, Nebraska, like, yeah, we know how to play Rocket League, and they've been tough to call out. Even Rousseladon, his recoveries have just been great, even right there on the chip. He doesn't panic, and I think that's something that we don't actually see a lot in CRL, is players who perform, they don't panic in any situation whatsoever, and achieves, you said it, top 100 player. Even when he makes the wrong touch and he's right in front of his own net, he doesn't panic, and he'll be able to fix it. It's the mark of a solid player who has a ton of experience. That's how you get to the top 100 in Rocket League.
That's how you get to the top 100 in the world.
Yeah.
We tout that a lot in the pros. A lot of the amazing ability of professional Rocket League players is the ability to recover from bad scenarios. And Rousseladon has definitely demonstrated that in this series, at least.
What we saw there is something I had hoped to see more out of UW-Madison. There was a goal at the beginning of the series where Snarky just blew up the defender. And he tried to do that in the second game. It doesn't work out. They had to get aggressive here. It might be too late, though.
It might be too late. And I think that part of the reason UW-Madison hasn't been able to go for that is because they've spent so much time on the orange half of the field. And when they do get a clear out, it's just panic to go try to grab boost before the ball just gets boomed back to your half again. And so their options have been really limited in these last 3 games. But props to Nebraska for a great post-game 1 adjustment. Nebraska-Lincoln moving on in the tournament.
Capitalization, capitalization, capitalization. That is the hallmark of a strong CRL team. You give them an inch, they will absolutely take a mile, and that is 100% what led Nebraska to this victory over Wisconsin. Capitalization on small mistakes from the Badgers, and they will indeed move on.
And some adjustments. I mean, we've seen some incredible teams so far today. Very explosive, dynamic play. And now Nebraska joins those ranks. We definitely understand now why they are the #1 seed coming out of the qualifiers. One of the things that really impressed me is just how well-rounded this team is. Rousseladon, sure, great player, top 100. He was making plays consistently throughout. But the other members, Sniper, Penguin, they definitely stepped up and showed in their own right that they can definitely carry a game when the situation called for it too.
That's the value of communication and understanding who can do what and who is where on the pitch and is able to make a play and who will make the best play. And it's that split-second recognition between all 3 players that allowed them to be so successful in generating pressure and keeping the ball away from Wisconsin.
A new challenger appears. Nebraska is going to move forward. Let's take a look at the bracket. Another solid team. I don't think it's going to be very easy at all to predict how this bracket's going to play out. Nebraska, Waterloo, I'm really looking forward to that one.
That's a real test because, you know, we saw Waterloo earlier with their new guy, Insomnics, and that's also a well-rounded, well-regulated offense. They didn't get in each other's way either. So it really will come down to you got to see the Go Rocks go versus Rousseladon.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be fun. And, I'm really curious what this Ohio State B team has to offer. Akron are not going to be an easy team, and I'm not going to count out UW Whitewater.
Yep.
Sure.
I'm not going to count them out, but, I'm going to give some credence to our
#1
our Northern National Champion representatives. And you absolutely have to wonder, okay, Ohio State B, if UW Whitewater do beat Akron, no matter who comes out of that matchup, that's going to be tough.
Very, very much so. On the other side, let's take a look at the other side of the bracket, because there's a lot of interesting discussion to be had here as well. Illinois is going to be squaring off against Missouri S&T. Missouri S&T, they showed up to be a very dynamic team and a play to watch in their own right. That could be a huge surprise.
Yeah, big shock for them to just sort of roll over Michigan like that. Is they came out, socked them right in the mouth, and just moved on with their day. And
Pretty much. Yeah.
And tomorrow, Illinois is going to be a tough test for them. Guelph, they started off the game, the day versus Missouri Valley, and that one went about as expected. Guelph, a very strong team out of the North Conference, and they deservedly so move on to the next round. But St. Clair, we all know who's on that team. Yeah. Lichinio sitting over there. We'll see if he's on the pitch tomorrow versus the Ohio State A team. Should also be a good match.
That's what's so crazy about the North region. It's just on top of the incredible teams that we've seen so far, there are still more monsters lurking in the midst that it's just we might not have seen anything yet. In terms of rounding out the season, the North region is definitely showing up right now.
It's a good one to round out on because that there's a lot of strong, quality offensively minded teams that can really make things go back and forth. So North definitely one to watch.
Nebraska's going to win the last match of the day. Parkour Penguins on the line. Penguin, congratulations on the victory. We definitely had high hopes for your team, and you made a lot of adjustments going into game number 2. Can you tell us what some of the voice comms were like coming out of game 1 and going into game 2?
Going in from game 1 to game 2, it was, like you said, a lot of adjustments. We realized what we were doing wrong. I know I said in the pregame interview we had no nerves, but that was at 2 o'clock today. So we had that coming out. We were missing shots. Everything just kind of was blowing together. When they had a play style that wasn't often, I don't see too often, they're really a lot of demo heavy, which is really well done to them. But thankfully we adjusted. We're finding passes a lot more and, ended up taking the win.
Yeah, you did.
So obviously then the next question becomes tomorrow. How much time will you guys have to really get ready and get geared up going into day number 2 of spring?
Day number 2, I'm pretty excited against Waterloo. We're going to have to just keep scrimming. I don't think we play till Wednesday, so we'll have the full day of Tuesday to scrim. And yeah, we know they're a good team. Definitely one of the top of the North, and we're excited to try to take them down.
And for you guys, heading into that third day to play your matches, is what's the mindset going in for you now? Is you still have nerves, or you feel like you're going to be good from now on after today?
Got the first one out of the way.
Yeah, now that you're good.
We got the first one out of the way. Like you said, we really have high expectations of ourselves, but we know everyone's good here. So getting that first win under our belt definitely is going to help us. And we know if we start getting momentum going and just if we do take down Waterloo, I think we can run the table.
I think you definitely have it in you for sure. Penguin, the question I have for you is, we had a lot of teams show up today. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see any of the other matches that put up really strong performances. Are there any teams that you're looking out for in the rest of the bracket, or are there any teams that surprised you so far?
I didn't get to watch too much of it. I saw Illinois. I was proud of Ohio State B. They took on Kansas. That was a good series to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's strong teams between Illinois, Akron. Waterloo's one of them. I know we've played Michigan before. There's so many teams in the North. We're just going to have to bring our A game every time.
I believe you can do exactly that. Penguin, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to seeing how you guys do in the rest of the bracket.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. If I'm Parkour Penguin right now, it's we have a lot of expectations on ourselves. To be able to make that adjustment and have that dramatic an impact coming out of game 1 and into game 2 shows to me if we do make it far enough to get towards those best of 7s, any team that we play against better watch out because we can find a way to win.
And that's actually, I think, a wonderful thing to hear as well. You come out as a team as the qualifier, and you already know that, not obviously, definitely, but it's in theory, the cards are stacked against you if you come out of the qualifiers. You come in as this fresh new blood, and usually the mentality is, all right, cool, we made it through the qualifiers. Let's see how we stack up. Nebraska comes in yo, We're here to win. We expect to be a top team in this in this tournament, and that is a wonderful thing to hear from a team out of the qualifiers.
For sure. What did you guys have to say? Let's take a look at Twitch chat, see if you had it right. 60% going over to Nebraska. I get it. After that performance, especially coming off of game number 1, I definitely think that you guys had it right. We have one more tweet to round out the evening. Let's see what you guys had to say. It's going to be Pierce Cluggs. He says the turnaround from Nebraska during game 2 was crazy. Nebraska and UW-Madison made this night a great night for Rocket League. 100%. I would agree. The North region as a whole has been showing up.
See, Pierce Cluggs, that was a very clever way to say I'm a Nebraska fan.
We got him, boys.
With so much action that was done today, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Use hashtag CRL19 to give us your predictions, as difficult as it might be. And we might find your name at the bottom of the screen getting read by yours truly. This has been day number 1 of the North region. You want to show up tomorrow.
Wait, there's more?
There's more.
Woo.
Wow, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific. You want to be there to see who's the last team to make it to the spring finals. But for now, have a good night. I'm not even going for the high five. Not even doing it.